single day, I'm gonna make something great. That's my way. Every single day, I'm gonna make something great. That's my way.
Hi everyone, this is your girl Rosita Cooper. We're on Living Your Dreams with Rosita, and my special guest for today is BOZENA J. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for having me today.
I am so glad that you are here. Did I say your name right?
You did.
Oh wow, awesome.
Not everybody gets it right. A little different.
Okay, well, it is so good to have you here. So tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
Well, where would you like me to start?
Where are you from? You know, just a little bit, and then we'll start going into the questions.
I was born in Poland, and I came to Canada, Windsor, Ontario, at a young age. So I was raised in Canada in a small town. With my family. My parents came from Poland. My dad actually did, and escaped the country to make a better life in Canada. So then, like 3 years later, he brought my mom and his 3 little ones to Canada, and we just lived here and, you know, settled in and got married. Had 3 beautiful babies, had a great life, and then, you know, separated. And when I separated, I decided to follow my career that I've always wanted to do at a very young child, actually. So being an international model, I've always wanted to do when I was young as a fashion model. And I did actually start that. And then I stopped because back then, you know, parents were working a lot, really hard. So that was almost a big no-no back then. Europeans are they're hardworking people, right? So you got to travel a lot, and to put your kids out there. My parents were just not like that. Okay. So yeah, I got married, had kids, and it was great. And then I separated, and I decided to follow my career. And it was a slow start because, you know, going through a separation, it's not always peachy.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. So tell me about, you said your father escaped. Explain escape. Escape like,
I know,
just moving away from somewhere where he didn't want to be, or escape like actually trying to get away from some folks, you know?
Right. No, he escaped Poland, Europe. He was trying to leave, and you couldn't just go and leave back then because that wasn't allowed so many years ago. Wow. So he actually to make a better life, he escaped. He went to a couple of different countries prior to that before he came to Canada to make a better life. And it took like 3 years before he could bring his wife and 3 babies.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so it was his story is amazing. And my mom's, actually, when you think about it, I feel like I'm watching a movie, you know, in the old days. Yeah. The hard Europeans and had to go through a lot, and I feel like I'm watching a movie. My mom could write a book.
So being that you was a little girl and then your dad was gone and your mom is taking care of you and your sister, what you said you and your
my sister and brother. I have a sister and brother who are twins.
Okay, so how did you feel, you know, when your father was gone, and did y'all know where he was, or did you feel as though was he coming back, or were y'all at that age to where you wondering, is dad coming back, or
I had a hard time with it. So I remember him being in a Jeep. I was a daddy's girl back then. It's funny because at a very young age, probably the age of 3, I remember certain things. So I always wanted to go with him everywhere, and he was in a Jeep. We were going on a ride. I'd get in the Jeep, and that was the day when he was leaving. And I'm like, okay, I'm going with you. We're going for a ride. And he goes, well, okay, I'll be right back. I'm just going to go get something and come back. He left me. And when he was gone, it was terrible. It was terrible because I was a daddy's girl. I remember that I was a daddy's girl. So it was terrible. I hated that. And I still remember it. And I was 3.
Wow. Did it affect your life, like as you got older and even today? Because a lot of people, when stuff like that happen to them, then they have like neglect issues where when somebody come into their life, they actually hold on to them tighter because they feel as though that person is going to leave, leave them.
I don't know about that. Like, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Like when we were able to, we adjusted, but we were able to, when we came to Canada, everything was just, you had to know your dad again because you haven't seen him in 3 years. The communication was no communication because you weren't allowed. So we just kind of adjusted and got to know our dad again. But I don't think none of that affected me. No. And if it did, I can't remember, to be honest.
Okay. So your mom. So how was it growing up with just your mom raising you? Everything was still basically the same way, or
no?
Did you see her go through a change?
I saw her go through a huge change. So this is another thing. She went through a lot. So she had myself, and then 18 months later, she had twins, my sister and brother. And my brother back then, they didn't know she was having twins. So my sister was born, and then 45 minutes later, there's another baby coming out. So he was born. And so he had no oxygen for 45 minutes, and he's very still lucky to be normal, to function and all. But in Poland, so when my dad had to leave, like probably a year and a half later, she was stuck with she was dealing with a sick baby where he couldn't walk for 5 years. And they told him he would never be able to walk. And she was very close to her own family. We have a big family on both sides, my mom and my dad. She was very close to my dad's side of the family, where they helped her when my dad left. She was very, very lucky. So because having a sick child like that, they were able to drive her to one doctor to the next and find a really good doctor to help this child that the one that delivered him said he's never going to be able to walk. So dealing with an 18-month-old and a twins, and then one was sick that'll never walk, never talk. It was horrific for her. And no husband. He left because he was trying to make a better life, and no communication with the husband.
Wow. So
it was I'm telling you, she went through a lot. Seriously, she could write a book, and it's like watching a movie. Yeah, I don't.
Maybe you need to find out how you can get a movie out of it.
I probably can, and write a book. Yeah. Right? Why not? True stories. True story.
Okay, so you basically on LA Style magazine. Tell us about that.
So yeah, how I started my career?
Yes. Just LA Magazine. I want to know about how you started. But
LA Magazine.
LA Style Magazine.
I met a man that is an agent and a producer in Los Angeles. His name's Oscar. He was great. I connected with him on social media. And he said, I can get you into a few magazines. I love you're enthusiastic and you're just listening to about your life, because we started connecting and talking. He goes, I think you'd be great because you're a different role model for young girls. You're a little bit older and we don't see that. So, and having 3 kids and being single, he goes, I think you'd be perfect. And the way you take care of yourself would be for our Viva Glam magazine, LA Style, and Alegria, which is, so that's, no problem. So I went to LA and I met all of them and the editors, and Q&A interviews I did, and did a photo shoot, and that's how, and they loved and they asked me all the questions, of course, from, my childhood and to middle to present, and they loved it. They were very, very interested, and they wanted me in there, which was amazing. I got I wouldn't say lucky, because I connected with him, right, through social media. So he loved what he saw and heard about me and wanted me in there. So it was amazing. It was really, really nice to be in.
Okay, so what did you want to be when you was younger?
I wanted to be a fashion model. I got to tell you, when I was younger, I was always one of those girls that in school, I never liked wearing jeans. I liked dressing up. And people used to make fun of me, and I didn't really care. So I wanted to be a runway fashion model.
Wow.
And I'm not a runway fashion model. I'm a fashion model, but not a runway, and at a different age. So yes, this is something I've always wanted to be into.
Well, you need to do what you wanted to do. It's always, you know, it's never too late. You're a fashion model, so just get on the runway with it.
You're right. I agree. And I'm on the process of it. You're totally right.
Exactly. So, okay, so what inspired you to do what you're doing? I know you said that you wanted to be there when you was a little girl, but what has just exactly inspired you? You know, anybody that you've seen in the industry, or was it just you wanting to dress up as a little girl?
Yeah, you know what? No, it's not anybody that I saw in the industry. I started following this when I actually got separated. So when I got separated, it's what made me want to do this. I wanted to be a fashion model, international model. So it motivated me to start it. Mind you, it's a slow process because, you know, you're going through, it's not always peachy. You're going through a tough time with separation and divorce. And I live in a very small town, and there's a lot of judgers. There's a lot of non-believers. So if you're insecure and low back then, which I was because separation's never easy, and what people said did get to me. And I had to clean house as well to get rid of a lot of people over the years, because that just set me back with my career. So being on this for so many years, on and off, and working on my own while going through that was never peachy. But you know, these people that judged me, I actually thank them, because they made me who I am now, where I'm at. You made me so much stronger, and I've worked so hard to where I'm at, and I'm still working hard that it doesn't matter what people think. I don't care.
You know, I really do feel as though that a lot of people judges other people for a lot of reasons. And majority of the reasons are they are afraid to step out on faith to do what they want to do with their lives. A lot of times people will talk you out of something that they feel as though they can't do.
Yes.
You know, or a lot of times it's out of jealousy. And I realize that small towns, because, you know, I'm from a small town and stuff, you have the people that's going to support you, and you have the people that's going to talk. And majority of the time, the ones that's talking is not doing anything themselves.
No, and I agree 100%. Like I said, and when I'm doing it on my own too, being a single mom, and you have a very small support group. I have a very good small circle of friends, very minimal. And there's only a few that support me on this the whole time. So other than that, you're on your own. So you're doing it on your own, which takes a lot of courage when you have a family to raise, and being in the industry that I want to be and living in a small town, it's like a big no-no to people. So I started really honestly, Rosita, not giving a shit. Exactly. I started not caring and just doing what makes, and you know, just doing what.
And that's exactly how you're supposed to be. I was just talking to a multi-platinum Grammy Award winner. I was interviewing him last week, and he said the same thing. Basically, it's like you have to be selfish with what you want for yourself. Because if you listen to everybody else, a lot of times you're going to be nothing. You're going to have nothing, because that's what people want. Yeah. People get insecure and envy and stuff when they see someone else rising and they still at a certain level. And the higher that you rise and stuff, the more people start thinking to themselves, well, what am I doing? Why am I in this relationship or this marriage that I don't want to be in? Why am I in this life or this situation I don't want to be in, or a job I don't want to do? And they have dreams as well. But you know what? They stuck. Well, they feel as though they're stuck. Ain't nobody really stuck. But people are mentally brainwashed and stuck to be at a certain level when you don't have to be there. If you're not happy in a marriage, get out of it. If you're not happy in a relationship, get out of it. You know, if you're not happy at your job, there's more jobs out there. People tend to imprison themselves mentally with stuff. you know, and they don't have to. They get mad at other people's success and other people following their dreams.
Absolutely. Listen, and I agree. And I've learned that, honestly, Rosie, I've learned that the hard way. Because again, you're doing it on your own. You have a support group. I have very small to nothing. I have one girl that started going to my photo shoots with me and takes me everywhere. She goes with me, and she's the only one that believes and listens and what I want to do. And that's perfect, because learning the hard way with living in a small town, the ones that are talking about you either getting a separation or divorce or BOZENA's career. Look at her. She's a lingerie model. What is she doing? I had those setbacks, and believe me, it took me a long time to get out and learn it the hard way, but it got me to where I'm at now. I don't care. It's my life. I'm the best version of myself and for my children, and that's it. And you either take me for who I am or you don't, because what I'm doing has nothing to do with you. I'm still good to everybody else, but I'm going to continue on my career in life. And you know what? There is a lot of, you know, supporters that I have as well that are wonderful in Windsor, but you know, to be happy for you all the time and be there and be real with your career, very minimal, and I'm fine with it, more than fine. Right?
Yeah, you got to be fine with it, because other than that, it can destroy you. It's so many people that, because I used to get upset looking at certain family members and friends that wouldn't support me, that I felt as though that I love you. You know, if I make it to a certain level, you made it too, basically, because I'm coming to get you. But then you looking at them like, they can't even say congratulations. They can't even say no. They can't hit a like button. You can't say I'm happy for you. You know, so it makes you feel some type of way. And if you don't set your mind to the point to where I'm okay with it, like you said, that it can destroy you. It can actually put stress on you that you don't need, to where you can't accomplish certain things that you need to accomplish for your career to go high.
Rosita, and I'll tell you, I'll be the first witness to say that. I've let that gotten to me. Going through tough times in life and letting all those people, small city that I live in, and no support and just negative, toxic, I paused a lot of times. I procrastinated, because you get down, you get depressed, on top of what else you're going through with life, just family, your children, you're going through a divorce. I didn't need all that.
Exactly.
And it's something mentally, mindfully, you have to learn on your own to not let that get to you, but it's hard at first. I've gotten stronger over those years where I can't handle that stress and I don't want it, and it's not my stress. And those people, it's temporary. They're only doing it to hurt you. Then they stop talking about you, they talk about somebody else. And I do agree with you about people staying where they're at. It's their choice. So many people are living in an unhappy marriage. Your choice. You could change. Listen, it's not easy, but it gets easier. So the passion and career, everyone's, you know, people say, well, this is just a passion for you. It's a hobby. I go, no, it's my career. I actually love doing what I'm doing, and I'm going to continue doing it. So you can have both. If you really work hard, it's not easy, but you know what? If you believe in it, you can do it. If I could do it, anybody can do it.
Exactly. You know, and tell me the support that you had with your husband. Did you decide, did you ever tell him that you wanted to model?
No, you know what? When I got married and had children, that never came up. I was in a different place. That probably couldn't come up because I was working for him, supporting him as a wife, and raising 3 children. So I was able to quit a couple of my jobs and stay home and do that. So that's what, like a European woman, I wanted to do that. So that's what I was involved in. That wouldn't have been even, I couldn't even bring that up. I couldn't have been able to do that. So no. So, you know, thank you for the separation. It worked out. It worked out because things work out for a reason, right? People aren't together for a reason. We're good.
Yeah.
Kids are good.
Like 3 beautiful kids out of it. So
yeah.
it's served.
Yes, 3 beautiful kids. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my kids love this. My kids are involved in my life all the time, 24/7. They accept my career, which is wonderful. It's my kids and my career.
Yes, that's
awesome.
it. That is awesome. And you know, me and you was talking earlier, and I was telling you about the acting thing, that you should get into acting. So
yes, I like that.
You and your daughter actually writing, you know, some stuff together. Cause
I brought that up to her.
Teenagers are so creative, so y'all do the mama-daughter thing and start writing together, and you know, and act out some skits, and you know, send them to somebody. And
sure.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? You're totally right. So I brought that up to her before we started our interview, and she just started in high school drama. My kids are also with an agency in Canada, in Toronto. So I never pushed them to do modeling because that's what I do. I would never do that. But they are with an agency, and my daughter is interested in doing commercials. So she started in high school doing drama. She was a very quiet, timid girl. Not no more. Yeah. She's just got out of her eggshell, and she loves this. So I brought this up to her. I said, oh, guess what? I got the interview I'm doing with Rosita. She thinks we should do some TikTok and write some scripts out because Mama's going to be doing some acting too. So she would be perfect for it. She loves it. So that's a great idea, actually. Yeah. And then I've connected with a few producers as well, which I'm very lucky to. Then you never know, right? Your connection.
And that right there will actually get you the videos that you need to be able to present it, or to be seen even more. You put it on your Facebook, you put it on your Instagram, you know, on your pages and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so why not? Doing it together, it's like she can present it, her acting part, her reel, as to commercials, because that's what she want to do, and you'll be able to get your stuff to get acting roles.
Yes, because you know what, I have a friend that said to me, well, you know, doing this international modeling, the lingerie, bikini fashion, I'm sure there's more things for you to do besides more than that in industry. I said, yes, absolutely there is. Like, you want to do more, you want to do the acting. And you know what too, I'm also involved in being the assistant director for Miss Universe. So I coach young girls into fitness, because I'm a fitness trainer as well, an instructor, on how to stay fit and also how to be humble. And you know, your looks will be your looks, but if you don't have that personality, you're not humble, you're not going to go anywhere in the business. And they'll find anybody new. So one of my directors, Sunny Borelli, who's an amazing host as well in Windsor and in Ontario, he just found me because of what I'm doing and said, you'd be perfect for spokesperson to help these girls, to help motivate them and talk to them because they don't know any better, right?
Wow.
I love doing that. So that's the field that I'm working on as well, to proceed.
Awesome. That is so cool. I know, I remember when I used to do the etiquette classes with the little girls and stuff, and they loved it. They loved it, you know, just sitting down.
Yeah.
And I would have, it was always a little boy that wanted to play with us, you know, so I would have him doing certain things, because the little girls be like, you can't be around us because we girls. And I was like, yes, you can. So I give him something to do, you know. But yes, they love that. They love it. And congratulations. Because I know that's a wonderful feeling when you have little girls looking up to you and stuff, and you being there.
Yes. Well, you know what? I love doing it. That's why he picked me. It's not a chore. It's something that I love, helping young girls. And a lot of these young girls that want to be in the pageant or into the modeling, they're 18 to 25. Mm-hmm. Well, they're very naive, and they can get themselves in a lot of trouble if they don't have an agent. So I think because I'm older and wiser, I got some experience.
And it gives them something to look forward to. You are a beautiful woman, and you're an older woman. So young girls, they actually look at women and they see who they want to be when they get older.
Yeah, thank
They
you.
want to be like, you know, and
Yeah.
they get example from the women that's around them to take care of yourself. You can still be beautiful. You can still, you know, have a good person. You can
Absolutely.
still have fun,
Yeah.
you know, in everything and stuff. So that teaches them,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yes, and you got to have the right person to be wanting to do that too, right?
exactly, exactly. So you just
Mm-hmm.
can't pick anybody that don't like kids and stuff. And they,
Yeah, no, for sure. Then you're in the wrong business.
exactly. Kids trying to ask me questions. They're like, why is she talking to me? No, you don't need that type of person.
Oh, that's
Like,
funny.
what time is it? I'm ready to get off of work. No, you don't need that type of person working with kids.
No,
But
no, not at all.
it happens every day. It happens every day. You know, that there's people working in daycares and everything that really don't care for kids, and it's just a job.
No.
You know.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't like that.
Yeah.
That I don't like, and I see that a lot. I see that a lot here where people have really good jobs, but they hate their jobs.
Yeah.
They just can't stand it. They're not nice to any people that walk in because they don't like their job. And I'm like, so many times I'll go in somewhere, I'm like, okay, why are you here then? If you're not going to be nice, why are you here?
Yeah.
You signed up for this.
But
we all signed up for what we want.
It happened more now than in the past, for us the teachers really don't want to deal with the kids, and kids can feel genuine love, whether she's the mean teacher or he's the mean teacher or the nice teacher. That you can be the meanest teacher, but that child can feel your genuine love for them, you know, because I actually love the mean teachers.
Oh yeah.
Because I can tell that they really
care.
Yeah. It's the ones that, you know, that really didn't care what you did, that you can tell they don't care nothing about you.
No, and you know what? You're right. And those are the ones too that are telling me I'm retiring in 5-6 years. They're my age. Yeah. I go, what? They're like, we can't wait to retire in 5-6 years. What are you going to do after that? I can't even think of retirement. I don't even want to think about retirement.
Exactly.
It's because they don't like their job.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate. That's the mentality here, living in a small town. They have that. So it's, and my life is different.
Mm-hmm. So for anybody that is from her hometown that's watching this right now, you do not have to be in this situation that you're in. You know, you always follow your dreams, step out on faith, and do something that you love. Find something that you love. Find what you did as a child that made you happy. And you can do it as a grown-up and still get a check out of it. You know what I'm saying? I was the talker.
Exactly.
I got in trouble for talking in school. Now I get paid to talk. You know, so.
Yes. Yeah. Lucky you. You're a great talker too.
Thank you. But there's a lot of people, like you say, that have that mentality to where, you know, they're not happy. So, and they take their frustrations of an unhappy life out on somebody else with a smile on their face.
They do. And you just have to learn not to give a shit, honestly. It can be hard, believe me, but it's your life is so much better when you don't care. And do what's good for you and just keep going at it.
Exactly. Because what people fail to realize is if you wasn't doing what you're doing and you was living an unhappy life, those people wouldn't care about what you're doing.
No, they wouldn't. And you know, I was thinking too, if God forbid I was done and my life was over, no one gives a shit. They ain't thinking about you.
They'll find somebody else that talk about this happy.
Exactly. So why let that get to you? Mm-hmm. Why let it get to you? Why? It is easier said than done, and I get it, but it's all in your mind. Exactly. You want to do it, do it. Go for it. No one's stopping you. It's not easy, but if you really believe in it, it can happen. Mm-hmm. Think about it. Rosita, I'm a single mom with 3 children. Mm-hmm. It's not easy. It was not easy to do this, believe me, and living in a small town. Judgers talking about you. Whew. I got through it over the years, and let me tell you, anybody can. Anybody can. And you got to spend money first to make it. Setting your own business.
You know,
it's not going to come to you.
People sit back and look at smiles on folks' faces in this industry and stuff, and they thinking that they got it all together. They do not know that when the camera shut down and everything, you got life going on. You know, it's so much happened in between you actually really on a certain level in this industry where you ain't got to worry about anything. And even the people on those levels, they still got a bigger level of problems.
Of course.
But
of course.
We have the problems of, okay, I got to get this done. I got to do this. It's so much stress, you know, and it's so much going on, and it's so much disappointment that goes on in this industry. But the person on the outside that's looking, they don't see that. They only see, oh, I think that they got it made, or she thinks she the shit. You know, that. No, you just
not even close.
You're just an average person following your dreams. You know, and
that's right.
On it, then they be focusing on why you following yours.
No, you're right. You're right. They just think I'm sitting here and it's all coming to me. Like it just comes to you. You can't sit there. You got to work hard. You got to do your networking. You got to go out there, because if you sit there and you're just going to look on social media, it's not going to come to you. So yeah, you're right. Nobody on the outside knows, but they know how to judge.
Yeah.
They're perfect at that. This pandemic actually has realized this pandemic, I think, because you're right. When you said in the industry, there's a lot of stress. People are like, I got to go to this appointment. I got to do that. I got to do that. I got to get that. Stress. It's a huge reset with this pandemic that we've been having, because you're stuck. You're at home. It's a huge reset on your life to really think what's important to what you really want. Reset on your own life and who is important in your life and what you can do next. I found that is a good thing. You know, you can't go anywhere. You're stuck. You don't need everything. You know what I mean? Reset your own life, because when you reset, that's when you do well, best in every situation. Am I right?
Exactly. So I want you to tell us a testimonial part about your life of what you went through. You can go all the way back to when you was younger. And you probably already talked about it, because I feel as though the testimony of your father leaving and you going through that, that's a testimony by itself. But for us in this industry, what have happened to you that made you almost want to quit, and how did you get past it?
Well, going through a separation for so many years made me almost want to quit, because I was very low and insecure then. You have people that talked about you living in a small town again, and judging you just for getting separated. So that was ugly for a few years, and unfortunately that got to me. You have friends that you thought were true friends and weren't, that were nothing but toxic and going against you and just making things worse. You start your career and you have all of that on top of everybody else talking about you, and you're letting it get to you and you want to give up. So emotionally, mentally, that is very draining. Depression, I went through a very bad depression, unfortunately, and depression does not run in my family. Nobody has it. Nobody has meds. But over the years, all going through that and trying to set your career, and there's hiccups, it can get you really, really in a bad place. So that I was done for a very long time. I was done. It took me literally 4 years. So I finally took me so long to get stronger and not caring about what people say, because they're going to talk about you regardless. If you're a good person, you're doing for you and you're taking care of your family, then who cares about the rest? But going through all that heartache because of those people, unfortunately, made me where I'm at now. It was a lot of bad health and all that, but you know what? I'm actually going to thank the Windsor judges that judged me for so many years, because I'm where I'm at now. You made me so much stronger, and I'm blooming. because of my work and my strength. Thanking them for doing that to me, for getting me there.
Wow.
It was really, really tough. Like when you come from an old European family too, you know, Europeans don't agree with the divorce as well. That's a big no-no. So that was a lot of stress too. It was everything. So going through all of that and a heartache for so many years got me to where I'm at now, because I was trying to succeed with a career as well, which was doing it by yourself and not having an agent. Rosita, was very hard.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't have support. I had no support. There was one girl, one friend only, like I said, that was the only one that supported me. Only one. I have the whole time for all these years. So that can, you want to be done. You want to give up. You're living in a small town.
Yeah.
So I got so much stronger and did my homework, did my work, did work on myself, and here I'm at. It's great.
And it goes how strong you are too, you know, because you done got past a lot of things. And I know when you dealing with religion, that you know, a bunch of people that believes in certain things and stuff, I know there's a lot of stress on a person when they feel as though that they're going to separate from certain things and certain beliefs and stuff, you know, and they basically feel alone because everybody else believes in that. You know, everybody else feel as though you should be this way, walk this way, sit this way, talk this way, and do this.
Yeah.
And shut up. You know, so you feel as though like, no, that's not me, and I'm going to do what I want to do and what makes me happy.
Right.
Then
exactly,
you tend to actually think about how it's going to make other people feel that you feel that cares about you. But if they really cared about you, then your happiness would mean more to them than you being in a situation where you're not happy.
Yeah, you're totally right. Listen, I'm telling you, I've learned that the hard way. You know, not everybody's strong at first. I was young as well, and 3 little ones, and wasn't confident, not at all. So went through a lot of heartache to get to where I'm at now. Unfortunately, I had to go through a lot of heartache, but I just think, I thank my past. I thank my past. It wasn't fun going through it, but I thank my past. And you know, anybody else that goes through that, I've given advice and helped with, because only true ones, because it does get easier and you do get stronger, and then your life is so much easier when you just don't care and you're doing your own thing, honestly.
Exactly. Okay, so I want you to give the audience some inspiring words to close with, something that they can take on with them for the rest of their lives, that they can grow from.
Oh my, what do you want me to start on that? Well, to go to with career wise, and just to follow your dreams, and not care what people think. Seriously, everyone's always going to talk about you, regardless of how you look, what you're doing. If you're a good person, you do good just in general, and you're doing what you want to do that makes you happy, just do it. Because you know what? Follow it. Do not listen to anybody, not even. And if there's friends that you think are real and they're bringing you down or are nitpicking at you, don't go for it. Don't go for it. Because they would never do that if they're your true friends. That's unfortunately just jealousy, and I hate to even use that word. Do what makes you happy. Doesn't matter what age, follow it. It takes a long time, it takes years, but it does happen if you believe in it. Do what makes you happy, honestly, because if you don't, you're going to live a very miserable life, to paycheck, and just a miserable life living. Why? Life's too short. Life is too short. We can go anytime. Do what makes you happy.
All right. Well, y'all have been watching and listening to Living Your Dreams with Rosita. And remember, let no one and nothing keep you from following your dreams. Peace and love, peace and blessings. Peace.
Thank you. Thank you, Rosita.
Thank you.